the complete opposite. Like, this girl was totally just getting harassed for what she thought. And I was like, holy fuck, like, this looks real bad. She's an 80-year-old, like, woman, like, fucking walking with a cane and just like,
oh yeah.
hello! Like,
it's like Bill Burr says, you can live too long. Like, you live too long. You're not the world's changed. It's changing with or without you.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're a racist, and that was totally cool back in the day. But now it's like, now you're just gonna. You may as well have died died like 15 years ago. You would have thought they slipped right under the radar.
Would you like to hear about the woman who got her house taken away?
Yeah.
A woman in Germany is being evicted from her home of 16 years to make way for asylum seekers amid growing concerns over how Germany will find accommodation for the hundreds of thousands of refugees flooding into the country. Bettina Halby, a 51-year-old nurse, has lived alone in her flat in the small western German town of Nieheim since her children grew up. On September 1st, she received a letter from her landlord, the local municipality, telling her the building was being turned into a refugee shelter and she had until next May to leave. I was completely taken aback. No doubt. Ms. Halby told the newspaper, I find it impossible to describe how this city has treated me. Yeah. In Germany, where 52% of people rent their homes, it is unheard of to be asked to leave under such circumstances. Wow.
Go back a page. There was a second woman who had the same thing.
Okay.
Whoa.
I just got a date.
Just got a date. You dog, you. You're just cruising through Facebook over there. You're just sitting on your phone, just getting dates.
She's this fucking tablet's real shitty. She's in the military though. I've been with quite a few military girls in the last year, and I always gotta like be low key about me doing fucking drugs or smoking weed or this and that, anything. Just being a straight up fucking alcoholic, kinda like. I gotta be low key about it, and it never really works good, as Taran probably knows, with France and Ottawa.
This guy's getting some into it. You're really careful you want to broadcast here.
Yeah. Oh, she's not gonna hear. I won't let her hear.
Right.
I had a little infliction with a girl from France and a girl from Ontario. You know, I was like kind of bouncing back and forth while Ontario was staying at my house for like 2 weeks, and it didn't work out good. I'm not that kind of guy, like, but I just had to be for that 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever. Had to be done, and it did not work.
Well, we'd all told
and
you.
She was a military member, and I just had to like be a different person, and I couldn't be me, and it fucking did not work at all. It's just real bad.
There's no grounds for any
It's
interactions.
like I can't fucking spend literally like hours upon hours of being somebody fake. Like,
no, I can't at least.
Definitely not. Like, I want to fucking smoke weed, and I want to fucking drink beer, and
yeah, man. I think like things go a million times better if you're just completely candid and upfront.
And yeah, just
what you are.
Completely honest, and I've learned that too.
Like, all the people that won't work with you.
Yeah, Dylan was saying, not you, Dylan, but Dylan Wallace.
I heard that in your last podcast. I was like, Dylan, this guy talking about me?
No.
Huh? Yeah, he had a job interview somewhere. I think it was for, I can't remember who it was with. Anyway, but he was being really frank and like, you know, I would say quite charismatic. Some might not. This guy probably didn't. But anyway, he was just being really like forward and like upfront about like, you know, trying to be real with him basically.
Yeah.
And he feels like he didn't get the job because of it. He was kind of like bummed about it, or like thinking that he couldn't fit the mold or whatever. I was like, well, listen, like who?
No, that's a good thing.
That's great. You probably would like that guy. The fact that he couldn't, you know, cut it or whatever, he couldn't see you working there is for the best, because chances are if you tried, like, you know, you'd probably hate it with a passion or something, you know?
Well, this was I can relate it to hitchhiking, because like sometimes you're staying on the side of a super busy highway in, like, near Toronto, and or somewhere in Ontario. You got your thumb out, your sign, and there's just like a steady stream of traffic, like 3 or 4 lanes wide, just cruising by you. Mm-hmm. No one's even looking at you. Mm-hmm. And you start wondering if you're actually visible, like if you actually physically can be seen, if you exist or not.
If you exist, yeah.
Am I even fucking here? Cause especially when I was hitchhiking in the prairies, people just not even looking at you. In fact, even making a point to kind of look off the other way. And it's like, I know it's just been flat for hundreds of miles. You have not seen a fucking single interesting thing in miles. And there's a human being standing on the side of the road, but then you just don't see it. It's like, if anyone's listening and you see a hitchhiker, like, look at them and wave at them, even. If you can't pick them up, just give them a wave. Just drive by and wave. It actually makes their day better. It's nicer than having people just act like you don't even exist. Like, I'd rather someone just, like, give me a little wave as they drive by.
Yeah, at least that's like an apology, but also an acknowledgement.
It's just an acknowledgement. It's just, for me, it was nice whenever people would do that. Just, like, wave, I'll just wave back and just, like, say good day.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it, but hey.
Yeah, it's fine. I understand that they're not going to do it, and I understand when they wouldn't want to, but anyways, you know, the other train of thought relating to yours was that those people who aren't picking me up aren't people I would want to ride with. Yeah. You know, it's like, so that rejection is a good thing because you don't want that job or you don't want that partner or whatever it is. Like, it's like if it's not panning out that way, it's probably
somebody's gonna take the time out of their night to fucking pick you up and.
Like the person who's gonna pick me up is on their way, and I'm gonna want to ride with them.
And obviously it's like this guy's decent enough of a human being to fucking pick you up, and what you're saying, like the people who pass you by, you don't want to fucking go with them. Definitely, the guy who picks you up, that's like it's a perfect person. It's like you're fucking putting your thumb out for the perfect person. Like,
Well, yeah, then they're assuming a lot too that I'm gonna also be a decent person when I get in the car with them.
Yeah, I'd hope so. I mean,
yeah,
it's a mutual thing. You're gonna be picking up some random person on the road, like. Obviously,
it helps if you have a dog with you. You'll get more rides if you have a dog with you.
Yeah,
you'll get more free food too. People love dogs. They feel worse about the dog than they do you.
I know, definitely. Few times I've passed by like a hitchhiker with a dog, and that was definitely the case.
Yeah,
it's like, or not just a hitchhiker, just somebody bumming for money or something like that.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that was definitely the case. Like, I was like, fuck. Like, sorry you live this fucking shitty life, but don't fucking bring old pup into this.
Yeah,
here's $20. Fucking get him a bag of food, please.
How could you do this to the pup?
How could you do this to the pups?
Well, it brings me back to we kind of got sidetracked, but I wanted to bring up, I'm not sure about the details, but apparently there was soldiers like burned down most of Halifax because they got back from the war, and so when these soldiers left for war,
World War II.
When they left for World War II,
or was it one?
Two.
It's whenever Prohibition was, right?
Well, when the Prohibition wasn't here. When
it wasn't the fact.
They came back from the war.
They were allowed. Booze was legal. They just weren't allowed to drink it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the soldiers got back and they weren't allowed to drink.
Yeah. Because of, if I think about it now, probably for some real good reasons. I mean, let's get these guys who just seen fucking thousands of people murdered. Let's get them nice and liquored up and
fair enough.
Let's see what happens there. I'm sure the fucking city would have been burning down regardless.
Yeah, so it's like fair enough. You try to like dodge one thing, and it's like, see how. I wonder if there was like arguments. And one guy was like, "Yeah, well, think about what they're gonna do when we don't let them drink."
Yeah.
And they're just like, "You're not gonna let us drink. Burn this fucking city down."
I mean,
how could you do that to the boys?
I would definitely be on that fucking bandwagon though.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm fucking burning this fucking city down for sure.
Yeah. You just like, can you imagine how much you'd be craving just like sipping on a beer in your home city after all that shit? And then you get back and you just don't get to have that.
See, and that's the thing, in World War II especially, you got leave time, but usually when you got leave time, you weren't allowed to leave whatever the continent over there, or whatever country you're in. You weren't usually allowed to come back to Canada. Usually on your leave time you'd be going to another allied country like France or fucking Britain or something like that. Anywhere that's like at the time being was decently fucking not being bombed by the Nazis. But yeah, those World War II guys, especially my grandfather, he was over there for the whole span of the war since 39 to 45, and he said every time he got leave, he would spend it in some random country over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would never get to come home. Like, it was just like too expensive for the country.
Just send everything.
Yeah, like, and the fact that like, if you were to get a shipping vessel coming back from the fucking east to the west or the west to the east, going back and forth, it's like you're just so much likely to get shot down by an enemy bomber or another Nazi U-boat, fucking boat, anything. So yeah, it was just like out of the question type thing, like.
Yeah.
And yeah, they finally fucking got home and they're like, I'm ready to drink beers with my old fucking high school classmates and this girl I used to have a crush on, and you're telling me no? Like,
Yeah.
fuck that. I'm burning this fucking place down for sure.
Yeah, that's just something that would definitely happen in this province too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Well, one of my friends said that he was asking this girl who worked at the liquor store, like how much beer they move each week or whatever, and the girl said something like, "We get like orders of beer into 6 figures here in this one location, multiple times a week." And it's like said something like, "We outsell every other province in liquor sales combined," or something. It's like
That's a lot.
one of the smallest provinces in the country, just out drinking everybody. It's because we're just like all the descendants of a bunch of Irish and Scottish people for the most part.
Oh, it definitely has to do with the culture too. Like,
Absolutely.
more so than anywhere else I've lived in Canada. Especially Halifax, actually. More so Halifax is definitely really prides themselves on their beer.
Yeah, drinking beer is. I mean, it's Canada wide, but man, it's definitely people are drinking on the East Coast. Man, it's crazy.
For better and worse.
For better and for worse, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I haven't found any stats yet, but basically, it seems to me the general sentiment is the police in Stockholm are in a bind because their government, whether municipal or, provincial, or their equivalent, I don't know if they have provinces or states, but anyway, and federal are all kind of pressuring them into not reporting sexual assaults for fear of worsening ethnic tensions.
What?
Yeah. And it was understood
worsening them.
It's making it worse.
Bathroom straight there.
It's making it worse regardless, no matter what they decide to say or not say. And that's the rub. It's like no one's willing to actually crunch facts because they're scared of what they're gonna find out, basically. Because the people who are like being like, trying to be as borderline to, left as possible or whatever, if the stats came in and they're like, well, where did I read it? Yeah, basically like I was saying earlier, like the large amount of immigrants who aren't educated and have a hard time getting jobs, don't get money, making these proxy ghettos. Those proxy ghettos are also giving birth to the appearance, end quote, appearance of gangs of Balkan and Middle Eastern origin among refugee groupings who fight for control of the drugs trade, among other things. The raw figures suggest a huge rise in rape reports from 1,707 in 1995 to 6,000